given us the authority over our life. He's given us the authority over the enemy because he can't have a hold on us. But we have to use that authority. It's not just enough to know we've got it, but to use it. So we're going to go to Judges chapter 7. And we're going to go through 19 through 22. So they were at this battle, and they were about to begin. And it says they were going out at night, and they went out. And Gideon had them all go out with one trumpet in their right hand and a lamp in their left. And they walk out to the battlefield, and it says they split off into 3 groups. 100 here, 100 there, and 100 with Gideon. And he says, whenever I do what I do, I want you to follow my exact suit. I want you to do exactly what I do. And God will take care of the rest. How many's got that much trust in somebody today? Amen? Stand before 100 and something thousand people and just say, do what I say, and we'll be fine. I'll be shaking in my boots. I'd be like, can I go lap the water like a dog? Amen? So 19 through 22, it says, so Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake their pitchers and held the lamps in their left hands and the trumpet in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood every man in the place round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And it says that 300 blew the trumpets, and the Lord set every man's sword against us his fellow, even throughout all of the host. And the host fled to Bethsheba and Zeroth, and to the border of Abel Meholah, unto Tabbath. Sorry, I really get choked up with those because, Basically, he got out there and he says, break your lamp, cause it to crack, blow your trumpet with all your might, and scream as loud as you can. Basically, we're going to be victorious. And they followed suit. And the word says, the army of the 130-something thousand fled in fear. They didn't know what they were coming up against. They just knew that they knew because there was a dream, and they had a dream that said that the God of all gods, the gods of Gideon, were going to destroy them. So they were already scared. So when Gideon and his army came up against that army, they were already scared. And when they yelled and when they triumphed and whenever they saw all the lights coming from all over the field, they thought, we're surrounded. How could we ever win this fight? So they fled. And the word goes on to say that they fled to the cities, and Gideon called to the cities, and they began to gather together, and they destroyed the army. They were no more. It says they killed the princes, and a few chapters later it says that they killed the leaders of it all, and they were all gone. But it was all because of the obedience of Gideon. But you see, what it is that what I want us to focus on is it's not the power that we have because of the numbers. It's not the power that we have because we're surrounded with a bunch of people. It's the power that we have because we have authority. Because our God gave it to us. When Jesus Christ came and died on the cross for you and I, we had authority over the enemy. Amen? We don't have to be held captive. We don't have to be held down. We have what?
Authority.
Oh, come on, let's say that again. We have what?
Authority.
There we go. We're getting there. We've got authority, and we have to be willing to say it. We have to be willing to shout it. We have to be willing to stand up and fight against the enemy. So I understood this whenever I was in there praying, and whenever the enemy had begun to come against me, I said, you don't have authority over my life anymore. I will not feel bad. I'm not going to feel like a failure. I'm not going to feel like the ministry that my God has called me to is falling apart. I'm not going to feel like my relationships are falling apart. I'm not going to feel bad anymore because I know that my God is in control. Church, we have to get out of the mindset that we can be defeated and live in the mindset that my God makes me victorious. It's His strength in my weakness that makes me a victor. It's not my strength, it's His strength in my weakness. And it's my authority because God has given me my authority. So church, my challenge in this whole thing for myself was, how do I live as if I have authority in my life? How do I live like I'm not defeated anymore? And for us all, it's going to be different. But in my life, it's no more excuses. I can't make an excuse for the reason why I'm not spending time in prayer anymore. Amen. There's not a Netflix show or an Xbox game out there, amen, that is more important than my love for God. There's not a TV series out there that's more important than my love for God and my God's love for me. Church, I can't make excuses anymore. I can't be my own stumbling block anymore, and I can't allow my weakness, amen, to be my stumbling block anymore. Because my God has made me victorious. My God has given me authority over that, and I don't have to take that from the enemy anymore. You see, now I've got the understanding that I don't have to worry about these things anymore. My God's going to take care of them. So church, when we begin to pray, we have to pray with that authority. Amen. I was praying the other night, and instead of praying in my head, I'll tell you this. If you're ever praying and you're wondering, man, I don't know, I'm not feeling it, begin to pray out loud. Go to a place where there's nobody at. Trust me, I understand. I'm not one that, unless God has given me something to say or pray with somebody, you know what I mean, I don't really like to pray out loud. But I'll tell you one thing. I got in my quiet place the other night, and I began to pray out loud, and I'll tell you one thing. God began to just speak to me because He allowed me to just focus solely on Him. I didn't let any noise, anything distract me. I challenge you to pray out loud. It will change your thought immensely on the prayer. But when I begin to pray out loud, and I'll tell you one thing. I started getting a little feisty with the enemy, amen? Because I wanted him to understand that he could come against me with whatever he's got. He ain't got nothing that my God's not prepared for. He's not got anything that my God can't handle. There's not a substance or a thing in this world that can hold my God back. There's not a thought in this world that my God could not overcome. There is not a light or a darkness in this world that my God has not already taken dominion over. So my thought in this is our authority is not just in our words. It's in our life. It's who we are. We can pray all day, God, help my church. God, help my kids. God, help my family, my husband, my wife. But if we're not living our life like we have the authority to say, Satan, you don't have control, he's just going to come right back in. And he's going to try to remind us that we are less than we are. Church, today when I leave this church, I'm going to walk out of here knowing that I have authority, dominion, and victory over my life. Because my God has already given that to me. I don't want to leave this place thinking that I don't. My God doesn't have setbacks. My God's not weak. My God is strong. My God is faithful. It says His word will never return void. And if my God tells me that I'm going to be victorious, by golly, I'm going to be victorious. Stand with me this morning if you will.